This video is a basic back care video that you can do anytime. Do it every day. So there are studies out there that do claim that having your own home practice, can be brief, 15-20 minutes, is going to lead to better health. So you might want to have a few props. Got a blanket here. I'm just going to sit up on it because if your hamstrings are tight, it can be hard to get your pelvis completely vertical to the floor, and you want to do that. You might want to have a bolster, a yoga bolster if you have one. Looks like this. You can lay on it, feels really good. Not a necessity, you could roll up a couple of blankets, serves the same purpose. So you can see behind me here, I've got a painting. An artist friend of mine did of two little houses, and I love that. We're going to use that as your reminder that you can do this at home. Stack of hardback books tied up with a necktie or some duct tape works as well, and a strap. Okay. So, as always, we begin with the breath. So I invite you to close your eyes. Sitting well, tailbone dropping down, low belly pulled in. Maybe feel like somebody is pulling the back of your neck towards the back of the room so your chin levels out. And simply inhale and exhale. So this is a way to activate our parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest side. So our fight or flight side works way too hard every time the phone rings or we get an email notification. We get a little burst of that fight or flight. It's not good for us. So take a couple more breaths and perhaps set an intention for this time. Some quality that you can cultivate here on your mat. And then let that go. Notice if you're still sitting up tall. Float your eyes open. And we'll begin. So I'm going to take this blanket and tuck it under my neck, my head, so that the back of my neck stays nice and long. And go ahead and draw your knees into your chest. Maybe make some circles with your ankles. You start getting the circulation going. Maybe gently rock from side to side a bit. And then plant your feet 2 fist widths apart or in line with your hips and your knees. Take your arms out to the side and start to move with your breath, exhaling your knees to one side, inhaling up through center, exhaling to the other side. Do that 2 more times each side. When you get to that first side, this time, maybe you hook your bottom heel over your top thigh. You could maybe even take that arm of the top leg over the head. Just a deeper side stretch. First twist of the day. Gently releasing. Maybe do a little bridge pose, lifting the hips just an inch or 2. Pull your low belly in. Drop the hips, and we'll go to the other side. Making any adjustments that feel good to you. Good. And inhaling. Gently come on back to neutral. Go ahead and see if you can touch your heels with your fingertips. So that's kind of a good measure of where our feet should be for a bridge pose. You're going to push your upper arms into the mat. You could even bend your elbows, fingers pointing toward the ceiling as a reminder, and then inhale, lift your hips. So our first bridge pose. Take a breath and exhale down. We're going to do that 2 more times. So inhaling, lift your hips. Keep the neck soft and exhaling down. 1 more time, inhaling, lift your hips. And this time we're going to stay. So if you want to, interlace your hands underneath you, tuck your shoulder blades together, go a little deeper. Really use those big toes. Stay in contact with the mat. Come back to your breath. Inhale 1 more time. And exhaling, gently release. Good. And then draw your knees into your chest. Feel that low back starting to warm. Maybe rock from side to side again. And take the heels to the ceiling. So if your hamstrings are tight, you might need to bend your knees a little bit. So we want to make sure that our feet are pointing straight at the ceiling, so not our legs down here somewhere, because then we're having to over-engage our low belly muscles. But this is a core exercise, right? So we're going to keep our feet flexed. On an exhale, drop one leg, and inhale back up. Other leg, and inhale. So let's change the breath. You're going to inhale on the way down, okay? Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Let's try both legs, only as far as you can go with no pain in your low back. Try and keep your low back on the mat. Inhale. And exhale. Let's try that 2 more times. Inhaling. You may only go a foot or 6 inches. It's okay. And exhale. And inhale. Another thing you could do is tuck your hands, palms facing down, thumbs touching. Inhale. And exhale to protect your low back. Okay. Release our hands. Bend our knees like we're a chair on its back, and we're going to go gently from side to side, working the obliques. So inhale deeply here. I have an idea. Take a pillow, a book, or block, and we're going to be sure that we're using our inner thighs. So exhale over. Inhale back up. Exhale to the other side. Inhale back up. We're going to do that 2 more times each side. Just moving with the breath. On back to center. Take your heels to the ceiling again. Just rest your arms down by your hips. And we're going to do some of this core work, right? So more inner thigh work. So pelvic floor and inner thigh. Super simple exercise. It won't look like you're doing anything. On an exhale, squeeze the block. Feel your pelvic floor drawing up towards your ribs. And inhale, gently release. Exhale. Draw up and in. And gently release. You can do that 8 more times. Exhaling. And inhale. Just focusing on your breath and the small motion. 5 more. If you've not done these before, it might take a while. Kind of get in touch with a subtle motion. 3 more. You may be able to hear I'm doing that little ocean breath or ujjayi breathing. It's like fogging a mirror, but with your mouth closed. Last one, make it the best one yet. And gently release. Nice. So you might want to just take another bridge pose. Right? And let that go. Gently roll to one side so we can come on up to all fours. this out of the way. So let's do a little cat-cow. On an inhale, take the tailbone and the crown of the head toward the ceiling. If it's okay with your spine to completely round, start at the base of the spine and ripple all the way up through the crown of the head, hollowing out, taking the mid back toward the ceiling. Do that a couple more times on your own breath. One more. Come on back to neutral. Put your big toes together and take your knees a little bit wider and start to rock your hips back. So if it's early in the day or you haven't done a lot of motion, you might need to just let those knees get a little warm. Just gently rocking backwards. When you're ready to settle in, take your hands as far forward as you can. Drop your forehead to the mat. If it doesn't reach, you could just grab your blanket and your block and put your head on your block. So you can do whatever you want with your arms here. You could keep them active. Rock from side to side a little bit. Bring them down by your heels. Three more deep breaths here. Good. Inhaling, come on back up to all fours. Get our hands right back under our shoulders. So fingers spread wide to protect your wrists. Inhale, one leg out behind you. Okay. And then gazing down at the floor, take the opposite thumb to the ceiling. On an exhale, bring the knee to the nose. Elbow to the knee. And inhale out. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale out. One more exhale, knee to nose. Inhale out. And we'll switch sides right away. Inhale that other heel out. Spine really, really long. Opposite thumb to the ceiling. Exhale, knee to nose. This is a great core exercise. Inhale. Two more. Last one. Nice, and go ahead and plant the hand, maybe rock the hips from side to side a little bit. And then we're going to walk our hands out. Inhale, the shoulders over the wrist. You can see that my spine is pretty much one long line from my knees out through the crown of my head. All right? We do 3 little mini chaturanga push-ups. So the elbows squeeze in, exhaling, inhaling. Exhaling, inhaling. One more time. Inhale, and slowly and gently exhale yourself down to the mat. Make a pillow for your head with your hands. So this is a great resting pose as well. It's just a gentle back bend. Take 3 breaths here. Good. So we're going to do some back strengthening exercises now. Just some simple little cobras if they work for you. If not, modify, do something else. So with our hands under our shoulders, remember strong legs make strong back bend. So push the top of the feet into the mat, engage your quads, and mostly using your back muscles, not your hands. Inhale. And exhale. Think about making your spine longer in back bend. So tuck your tailbone a little bit. And inhale, use your upper back. And exhale. One more. Inhale. And exhale. And then right away, we're going to lift our heels. Take your fingertips towards your ankles. And take several deep breaths, just gazing down at the mat. So always trying to make the spine longer. Energy out through the toes. neck soft, shoulder blades squeeze together, and exhaling, gently release. Bend your knees, windshield wiper your feet from side to side. So remember, the goal is to do a whole variety of exercises, hamstring stretches, front body strengthening, core, back body strengthening. Use your inner thighs, twists, gentle back bends. Right. So we're going to back floss now. Hands right under the shoulders, all right? And then you just lift your fingertips so they're hovering over the mat. And you're going to lift your heels, making the spine longer, energy out through the toes. Inhale, scissor open. Exhale, close. Inhale, scissor open. Exhale, close. Back of the neck still long. Inhale, scissor open. And exhale. 2 more, open and close. Make that pillow for your head with your hands and rock your hips from side to side. Take a breath. We're going to do that again. Hands, fingertips hover under the shoulders. Lift your heels 5 times. Here we go. See if you can engage your pelvic floor when you exhale, bringing the inner thighs together. Two more. Good. Exhaling. Make that pillow for your head with your hands again. Bend your knees. Windshield wiper your feet from side to side. Good. So we're going to put our hands on our shoulders, pull your belly in, push yourself up to all fours. So maybe a little cat-cow would feel good here, right? And then we're going to take a seat and do an easy twist. So I'm going to keep my bottom foot tucked under. You could always have it stretched straight out. Crossing one leg over. Remember, we're using mostly our back muscles here. Sweep your arm up and around. You're twisting toward that top leg. So again, if your hips are tight, you might want to sit on a block here. All right, so we're going to cross that arm, or you could hold your knee, gazing over your shoulder. Come back to that intention that you set. Inhale, get tall. Exhale, deepen the twist a little bit. Gently release. We could take a little modified boat pose to go to the other side. So lifting your shins, lifting your chest. And then go to the other side. Both hips on the ground or the block or the blanket, whatever you're on. Sweep your arm up and around. Get really tall. And then settle in. Exhaling, gently release. Sweep your legs around again, roll back on your back. So remembering that the rest and relaxation is just as important as the work. I'm going to take my block, or you could take a blanket or a stack of books, put it right under the sacrum, so the bony part, in between your glute muscles and your low back. So not in that lumbar spine curve, but a little bit lower than that. So this is a nice gentle inversion. You could stretch your legs out if you like. Spend a few moments here just allowing your body to completely be supported. Toes soft, heels heavy, legs relaxed. So if your knees are bent, you might want to let your knees flop in, your feet a little bit wider, so then you're not using any muscle energy to hold your legs up. Feel your belly relax and your shoulders heavy, back of the neck long. So you could stay here for a few more breaths, or you could remove the block, let your hips drop. Remember that you could always roll a blanket and tuck it under your knees. It's going to give your low back a little support. Or stretch out completely. And then pull your knees into your chest. One more time, rocking gently from side to side. You're going to rock onto one side. Safely use your arm to push yourself up to seated. Sitting however is comfortable for you. Sitting well, right? Really tall. Inhaling, take your arms to the sky. Exhaling, bring your hands to your heart center. Close your eyes again, inhaling deeply. Exhaling, bow your head to your heart with a mental pat on the back for showing up and taking care of your spine. It's where it all begins. So remember, you're never too old, you're never too sick. It's never too late to begin again. The spirit in me honors the spirit in you. Namaste.